I seen the video. I seen that shit. I was like, damn, it's 6 out there, you know? It's crazy, bro.
This was the footage of Lil Jeff everyone thought would be used to charge his shooter Trap City Rob. Yet the man who shared details of the shooting was released less than 24 hours after his arrest. Now investigators believe they've uncovered something new. Recent court filings suggest a break in the case, and rumors are swirling that crucial footage may have just resurfaced. Could this be the evidence that finally changes everything we thought we knew about Lil Jeff's tragic end? Stay tuned, we're breaking it all down. The CPD footage. There has been so much speculation about the circumstances surrounding Lil Jeff's death, and the police investigation into discovering the identity of his killer. However, a recent court document, backed by the footage of his shooting, may have just changed everything that we know about that case. According to the court documents that detail the charges brought against Robert Coleman, aka Trap City Rob, the Chicago Police Department are said to have probable cause to arrest Rob because he was identified on scene by a witness to be present during the shooting death of victim Jeffrey L. Harris, as well as electronic surveillance. While authorities are yet to release any footage from the Lil Jeff murder, the available surveillance footage that went viral on social media captures the exact moment when Lil Jeff was shot and killed while carrying out a hit on another man. In the video, Lil Jeff can be seen coming out of a vehicle and immediately firing multiple shots at a man wearing yellow shorts. According to the police scanner recordings, the man was hit in the chest, but he still managed to flee into a nearby building, desperate to eliminate his target. Lil Jeff chases after the man while still firing his gun at him. But just as Jeff is about to go through the door, multiple shots ring out from inside the building, which send Jeff tumbling down the steps and onto the floor. A second video that captures a different angle from the incident shows 3 men who accompany Jeff on the hit, looking on as the shooter stands over the rapper and empties his magazine into him. According to reports, Lil Jeff was shot a total of 19 times, giving him no chance of surviving the attack. Second footage also shows a man wearing a pink outfit who is later identified as Q50 shooting at a vehicle that drives by the scene. It initially appeared that he had shot at the vehicle for no reason, but if you take another look at the first footage, it appears that the man in yellow shorts was talking to someone inside this same vehicle just before Lil Jeff began shooting at him. After the vehicle manages to escape the scene, Q50, as well as another man in all black outfit, can be seen firing multiple shots in the direction of the building where Lil Jeff was shot. A brief exchange of gunfire can be heard from the footage, and at some point both men can be seen hurriedly retreating towards the getaway vehicle, with Q50 noticeably having a limp, which may signify that he was hit in the leg just before the men flee the scene. The driver of the getaway car gets out of the car and looks at Lil Jeff getting shot before realizing that it was too late to save him. The men then proceed to flee the scene, leaving Lil Jeff's bullet-ridden body lying on the front porch. However, after circling around the area to make sure the coast was clear, Q50 and another man returned to carry Lil Jeff's body from the front porch of the building and take him to the hospital. A picture showing Q50 and the other man carrying Lil Jeff's lifeless body later surfaced online, confirming reports that Jeff had been killed. Meanwhile, Lil Jeff's shooter never appeared in any of the surveillance footage, but sources have claimed that the shooter was seen standing over Lil Jeff's body and firing into him at point-blank range. This would have put him within the view of any eyewitnesses, and this may explain why the court document states that an eyewitness placed Trap City Rob in the scene of the shooting days after the shooting. Reddit users would unveil Trap City Rob as Lil Jeff's killer after an old video of him sitting outside the house that Jeff was killed was uploaded on Reddit. In the video, Rob can be seen smoking weed out on the front porch of the building. Although Rob has never admitted to being the one who killed Lil Jeff, he confirmed fans' speculations about the building when he revealed during a June 2024 interview that the house where the shooting occurred was owned by his grandmother. During that same interview, Rob seemingly cleared any doubts about whether he was at the scene when Lil Jeff was killed, by revealing that they were ambushed by 6 bloodhounds, including Lil Jeff. On that fateful day, when asked to clear the air on some of the social media controversy surrounding the case, Rob answered saying,
He stole the chain, bro. We tried like he took it. He stole my own chain.
Rob's initial statement was referring to the social media frenzy that showed Lil Jeff getting killed and how fans quickly dubbed him into a hero for killing someone that had become a terror on the streets. Rob was even dubbed the Defensive Player of the Year by fans who praised him for stepping up in the nick of time to save his friend, who was being hunted down by a known killer. More importantly, Rob's admission that they were ambushed by 6 ops puts him at the scene of crime and more or less seemed like him. explaining that he acted in self-defense. However, despite all the evidence pointing to Rob as Jeff's killer, some fans have argued that he was not at the scene when it all went down. In a desperate attempt to save from getting charged for the murder, the fact that the footage doesn't actually show the shooter has also pushed Trap City loyalists to maintain that there is no concrete evidence that ties Rob to the shooting. Although the court documents showed that Trap City Rob was charged with first-degree murder, the charges were later dropped due to a lack of evidence, and the police instead charged him with unlawful possession of a handgun. Despite the amended charges, some fans took to a Reddit thread to express their displeasure with the fact that he was still being charged after being forced to defend himself from an attack while responding to the Reddit thread. One particular Reddit user said, "Lao, so the Jeff situation is actual proof that having a gun around was necessary for your life to be safe. But it doesn't matter. The options are die or save yourself and sit in prison for significant years." Another person wrote, "Same here, and I don't think dude should get charged anyway. He defended himself and that's all that matters. He literally wasn't hurting nobody. That DA is just a power hungry." A third person chose to see things differently and pointed out the importance of having a licensed gun. They wrote, "This is why you're supposed to own a gun, legally, like go buy it from a gun store. But get your gun license first. Then you won't have to worry about any jail time." Amidst all the drama and furore, it has been revealed that Rob is currently cooling off in jail, most likely due to the one count of armed habitual criminal charge brought against him by the Chicago Police Department. A Reddit user once explained, "Was arrested same place where Lil Jeff got killed. Probably had a gun on him when they arrested him, so he got charged with an armed habitual." However, before he was sent off to jail, Rob released a short snippet where he can be seen savagely dissing Lil Jeff and all bloodhounds. In the video, Rob appears to be in the studio, and at some point he can be heard rapping, "Don't fall, you better not trip. This is talking about slip. This is not a game, better get a grip." While Rob doesn't specifically mention any names in the clip, his lyrics almost look like they are describing how Lil Jeff tried to slide on him and his homies but ended up catching several bullets and falling on Rob's front porch. But weeks before Rob's disc video found its way online, several Trap City members, including Trap City Rob, took their beef with the Bloodhounds to a whole new level when they posted a very disrespectful video of them recreating Lil Jeff shooting at the front porch where he was killed. In the video, one of the Trap City members can be heard asking, "Why y'all wanna go to poor?" The group then proceed to walk a short distance before arriving at Rob's front porch, where a Trap City member recreates how Lil Jeff fell to the ground after being hit by multiple shots, shortly after this video was shared by Trap City. Lil Jeff's dad, Jeffrey Harris, sent out a warning to Trap City, telling them that the beef was far from over. In a Facebook post, Harris wrote, "And to let it be known, y'all didn't get him, he came trying to get y'all, and what happened happened, but the saga continues. Clear the streets." Since making the threat, many lives have been lost on both sides, and from all indications there seems to be no end to this conflict anytime soon. While the feud between Trap City and Drill City seems set to continue for the foreseeable future, things were not always this heated between the two gangs. So what exactly started off this war, Drill City v Trap City? For the last couple of years, the deadly rivalry between Drill City and Trap City has led to the deaths of several people on both ends. Lil Jeff was one of the people who spearheaded this deadly war, and many would have thought that his death would have brought an end to the killings. But it has only led to more deaths. Painfully, most of the victims of this rivalry have been barely legal or young adults like Lil Jeff, who was only 21 years old when he was brutally murdered. Before we get into the origin of the beef between these two Chicago street gangs, let's first get acquainted with them. Drill City, also known as the Bloodhounds, is an African-American teenage street gang that primarily resides in Chicago, between 79th Street and Maryland Avenue. They are known for their violent robberies and shootings, with most of these crimes put into songs, making their hood very controversial due to their notorious nature. The Bloodhounds have very few allies and are known to have very personal beefs with two Chicago street gangs, BKN and Trap City. For this video, we will be focusing on their beef with Trap City. Unlike the Bloodhounds, Trap City is a set of mainly gangster disciples located around the area of 67th and Champlain. However, their exact territory ranges from 67th to 69th St. Lawrence to Cottage Grove. They are a very close allied set to CW base, and this alliance has become a very dominant force in the area over the last couple of years. They used to be very close allies with the Bloodhounds, and there are several old pictures that show members of both gangs fraternizing with each other in the past. In one particular photo, Trap City Terrell and Bloodhound Lil Jeff and bloodhound Q50 can be seen posing together before the beef. However, sometime in early 2023, things turned sour between both gangs after Lil Jeff stole a Trap City member's chain. The accusations of theft against Lil Jeff first started out as rumors on social media, but Trap City Taro and Trap City Rob later confirmed the story during a July 2024 interview. During the interview, Rob and Taro revealed how they used to be allied with the Bloodhounds until
I never took a dollar from
nothing.
Said, let me take a picture, this, that, and that. I look up and then ran down. We all the way at the top of the staircase.
The chain must have been worth a lot because it pissed off Trap City so badly that they responded by slaying Lil Jeff's cousin Zer Nelson, aka Zoni, on March 16, 2023. Nelson was 22 years old at the time and was reportedly shot so many times that the doctors had to stop counting the bullet wound at 29. Apart from being related to Lil Jeff, Nelson also had strong ties to several Bloodhound members, and the group took his murder as a direct attack on the collective. Nelson's death had an even more profound effect on Lil Jeff, sending him on a crazy thirst for revenge that culminated in the deaths of many people. But before Bloodhounds could get a chance to take their revenge on their rivals, Trap City launched another attack on Bloodhounds that left Q50 with a bullet wound. Luckily for Q50, the bullet didn't cause much harm to him, and he made a quick recovery not long after Q50, and Lil Jeff jumped on Instagram to rap about the incident. In the video, Q50 starts by rapping, "Shot me in my leg, next month I shot his throat." Lil Jeff then says, "They shot my cousin but ain't kill him. For some weeks straight we was spinning, but the only difference is when she got caught we killed him." In Q56 verse, he talks about shooting someone's throat the next month, and while he may have not been the shooter, he was referring to the fatal shooting of 19-year-old Jala Goins, was also known as Leo within the Trap City fold, and he was brutally shot and killed while sitting in a rideshare on June 25, 2023. The shooting occurred at about 8:55 p.m. in the 1300 block of West Taylor Street. Police revealed that Leal was sitting in the rideshare when someone walked up to the car, shot him through the window, and then ran off. The rideshare driver, Robert Smith, managed to drive Goins to Rush University Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. While recounting the ordeal, Smith told Sun Times, "I tried to save him. I didn't care about traffic lights and speed cameras. I really wanted him to survive. I was praying for him the whole way there. When they took them out of the car, I was praying for the surgeons to do what they could do, while law enforcement in Chicago struggled to find the shooter, and chucked it as another unsolved murder." The streets knew where the attack had originated from, and before long Lil Jeff claimed responsibility for the shooting, taking to Instagram Live. The rapper can be heard saying, "Go ask my ops that Michael Drake his ain't get out that car," while flashing a gun at the camera after seemingly claiming the hit on Leo. Lil Jeff took the trolling to another level when he mocked Trap City Terror over the loss. It all happened when Taro took to Facebook to mourn the loss of his friend, captioning a photo of himself and Leah with the words, "I wish I could get it back." Lil Jeff was the ultimate troll, as he dropped a care emoji on the post. But the rapper wasn't done yet, and seemingly saved the best for last while going live another day. Lil Jeff mocked Leal's death by recreating how the murder happened in the video. The rapper can be seen running towards a white vehicle that was parked at a gas station. When he comes up to the passenger's window of the car, he demonstrates like he's shooting through the car with his hands, just like it happened when Lyle was killed. About 2 months later, Lil Jeff and Q50 struck again when they allegedly tried to take out Trap City Glenn. The shooting happened on August 31, 2024, and it saw Glenn catching 15 bullets, but somehow he survived the attack. Q50 later rapper about the incident, claiming that he shot Glenn 10 times while Jeff shot him 5 times. Things seemed to quiet down for a while, but Lil Jeff apparently still had his sights set on completing the hit on Glenn. More than 6 months after the first hit on Glenn was carried out, the group led by Lil Jeff traveled deep into Trap City territory and tried to kill Glenn a second time, according to sources. The man wearing the yellow shorts that Lil Jeff was running after was Glenn from the previous failed murder attempt. Unfortunately, the second murder attempt on Glenn went horribly wrong and led to Lil Jeff's life being cut short at his prime. But while Lil Jeff's beef with Trap City may have cost him his life, it was another beef with a different gang that earned him his killer reputation and catapulted him to fame: the Double. homicide that made Lil Jeff famous. The killing of 2 teenage boys by Lil Jeff will go down in time as the murders made many aware of Lil Jeff's killing abilities. His victims were teenage boys who never got the chance to graduate, age 16 and 17 respectively. Lil Rob and Monty were silenced for life outside school premises on January 26, 2024. On that fateful day, the students of Innovations High School decided to go on a lunch break like every other student. But little did they know that it would be their last lunch on Earth. While walking in front of the Washington wash station, Lil Rob and Monty suffered an attack from some armed masked men in a surveillance clip. The assailants had tracked them to the spot while driving a dark blue Infiniti SUV. Upon sighting their target, 3 men exited the vehicle and began shooting with intention of killing the teenagers. This went on for about 15 seconds, and as the masked men fired, people flew helter-skelter trying to scamper for safety. Unfortunately, both Monty and Lil Rob were dangerously hit in areas that left them no hope of survival. The victims were shot in the hips and chest area. After the shooting, the masked men ran back into their vehicle and zoomed off along Stevenson Expressway and Deuceable Dive. Finally, they journeyed towards South Suburban Dalton and Calumet City. Following their disappearance, people began to crowd the victims and they tried to help them while others just screamed after noticing the severity of their gun wounds. Eventually, the pair were taken to the hospital, but were pronounced dead while following the tragedy. Lil Jeff did little to conceal the fact that he was more than pleased with the untimely deaths of Lil Rob and Lil Monty. Not like this is anything new among DRI rappers who have disputes, but Lil Jeff went on yapping about the murders even before the bodies went cold. Lil Jeff excitedly posted a video mocking the downfall of his ops. At the same time, it appeared that while immersed in self-snitching, in the clip, Lil Jeff was spotted driving inside a car alongside 2 others who were in Hua company. This video also showed the men in masks and black clothing, which was synonymous to the attires of the masked men who had just shot Lil Rob and Monty without breaking a sweat. Lil Jeff jams to the song on the stereo and later peels off his mask for fans to know that indeed he was the man behind the mask. This show-off attracted reactions from fans who believed that Lil Jeff was within his rights to have acted out. Meanwhile, others were shocked at the level of confidence. One person wrote, "Man, I know he was extra geeked. He caught them. It'd be like that especially when they was trolling." Another quipped factor, "They was gone, robbed him again." A third commenter added, "And then jailed this blatant. Didn't get it all." As if Lil Jeff's show-off clip wasn't enough controversy. A few weeks later, the rapper hopped into the studio for a new release titled Hey, where he raped about the whole thing. According to the lyrics, them did what they did and had to pay the consequence. You know that now. He on the floor, looking like a just walked in lids for 2 hats, really stepping on blood. Know how it get, but the deal was that Lil Jeff had always maintained that Lil Rob and Monty were guilty of something right before their death. The rapper went on live to explain that the teenagers had planned to rob him during a hangout, and they succeeded.
Tell the ops, stop wearing that, stop wearing that fake ass 50K. Tell the ops stop wearing that fake ass.
Lil Jeff alleged that they attacked him with 5 other guys and ran off before he could act. This was an allegation that was resounded after videos from Monty went viral on the internet. In the clip, the teenager alongside his friend taunted the bloodhounds, especially Lil Jeff, while showing off a pair of wristwatches and a neck chain. They laughed at the pieces of jewelry being fake and pointed their guns at the camera. The teenagers then chimed in, regardless of what might have started the beef. For the teenagers' audacity, fans believed that they certainly did not have to die the way they did. Unlike previous murders allegedly linked to Lil Jeff that have since gone unsolved, the police were able to make a break in the double homicide case. Ultimately, the authorities were able to track down Lil Jeff as one of the killers after an unnamed tipster pointed them to the clip he shared a few minutes after the murder. This showed that Lil Jeff was riding inside the same blue Colt Infiniti SUV which was used during the murder. About a year after the murders, the police made their first arrest. Tommy Coleman, a 22-year-old, was arrested in January in the 5700 block of North Mason Avenue. Upon establishing his involvement, the police charged him with 2 felony counts of first-degree murder and 1 count each of attempted first-degree murder, aggravated discharge of a firearm from an occupied vehicle, and possession of a weapon by a felon. Coleman, who was equally cited for not registering a weapon, made his first court appearance a few days after his arrest. During the hearing, prosecutors argued that Coleman and the other 2 men who attacked the teenagers had beef with them. The prosecutors also added that one of the masked men who killed the teenage boys had died in June 2024. This deceased culprit, referred to as Lil Jeff, passed away in June 2024 while chasing and shooting at another man. Meanwhile, culprit number 3 was a student at Innovations High School in the Loop. His name is James Allison, a 20-year-old who was apprehended a few days after Coleman's arrest. Like Coleman, Allison was slapped with a series of charges, including 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count each of attempted murder, aggravated discharge of a firearm, and aggravated unlawful possession of a weapon. Lil Jeff might not have gotten any charges because the murders were unsolved before his untimely death, but he got more than what he bargained for following the unexpected shooting from a member of Trap City during a hot pursuit. For more of such intriguing clips on What's Trendy, feel free to click on the card showing on the screen.